Hi, everybody.
Hey,
You
what's going
guys
on,
are going
everybody?
to
How are
have
you?
so much fun today. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We came in. This was kind of like
Impromptu.
Well, this show with Victoria is 100% impromptu. We
Now
had
you know who our guest is.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yes.
We had a live schedule, and we just finished a full interview with Victoria Reynolds, and the topic is so awesome. We're like, listen, let's just open it up and do a live. And the topic today is
Bring on the prosperity.
Saint Germain, Bring on the Prosperity. She is the creator of, which was the last show, and which will be out in a couple days. It's called the 6D Money Tree, and she explains in very much detail exactly how to bring all this prosperity into our energy field, like right now today, here in the now.
Yeah, you're gonna love Victoria here. We're gonna bring her on in just a second. Let's just say good morning to everybody
Jay.
real quick. Jay, how are you? Hola, Jay. Always. Jay.
Much love to you, Jay.
What's up, brother Michael? How are you?
Hi, Michael.
Is Trump really an alien? And when we go to other planets, we will be with family. I think that might be another guess, but we'll see if we can get that answer for you today.
Keeping it simple, gotta love that.
It's way too cold. Move. Move then.
Grow your 6D money tree and move south.
Yeah, that's right. All right, there you go. There you go.
Alpha May, Mark Anthony.
Hello from Israel. That's nice to say hello from Israel. Hope you're doing well over there. Hope life is treating you well. Hope you're prosperous.
Oh, you know, this is a good question. I think she pronounced it, Andrea. Are we going to need money in 6D? Well, we're going to ask Victoria that.
That's a great question.
That is a great question.
We're going to start off with that question.
Yeah. Alpha Male Swift, great to see you. Chastity, thank you so much for joining us.
Alpha Male Swift, we haven't seen you in a bit. How you doing, brother?
Thank you so much.
Lady, whoever.
Who?
Alpha Male Swift.
Alpha Male would be a male.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but you never want to assume.
Well, I think it's okay.
All right. Okay, got it.
Lynn, thank you so much. And Lynette and Brenda, Nancy, it's so great to see everybody
Utah, how
today.
are you? Can you turn up your volume? Okay.
Sure.
I guess
that's
so.
about it.
Is that
about
better?
As far as we can go.
Is that better, Vicky?
Hello from Colorado. Hello from Brazil. Hello, beautiful June. Aw, thank you. I didn't feel like dealing with it today, so I figured I'd put it up. Thank you so much. Hello, Blake. You guys, this is the show that you want to tell all of your friends, and I want you to share this show. And let me tell you why.
Prosperity.
The going into this great world, right, and elevating the planet, raising the vibration, elevating human consciousness. Prosperity plays such a ginormous role into the evolution of our planet and moving into 5D, and you personally moving into 5D, and you helping your friends and your family members move into 5D. And Victoria's going to go through this. This is such a huge component, and this is why Jay and I are going to continually talk about this topic of prosperity, because we want
you to do well.
Yes, we will absolutely want everybody to grow and prosper. But the universe, not just us, the universe wants us to grow and prosper. They want you to grow and prosper. It's always been the enemy that's been feeding us all this dark energy and lies and brainwashing that no, it's not good to prosper. You stay poor and broke and suppressed, and you remain in shackles. No, you know what? We are breaking the shackles. We are breaking free. We are going to live and prosper and have a great life.
Right, and you're going to see more about this. We're going to bring on a special guest like Victoria. As long as we need so you get that breakthrough.
We're going to drill it home.
So you all feel this, and you know that you can grab whatever you want here. And I want to also to let you know a couple of things just before we bring on Victoria. We're going to bring her on in just a minute. So we've got some upcoming shows coming up this week. You're going to have Gene Decode. We're going to have the guy David Love, who is a direct descendant of the Swiss cabal banking family. Yes, did I say that right?
Yes, we can use his last name. It's actually, if you've ever heard on the TV when they say, you hear Biden or Obama, and they'll always say, hey, he's with his cronies. I always thought that was like a derogatory term of like a gang of people that they hang around with, but it's not.
That's the name of his family.
His family last name is Crony.
Their name is,
and they are the cabal Swiss bankers.
Yeah, we got a ton of guests lined up for you. Yeah. Also, too, I want to let you know. Oh, and I know a lot of you have been responding to our email or reach out to you about being a broadcaster on the network and also being a HempWorks distributor. So just remember, askspirituallyraw@gmail.com. You can check us out that way. And listen, if we don't get responding to you within 24 hours of you sending your email, just resubmit it again, because chances are it went somewhere else, because generally I think all of them are trying to get responded to within 24 hours. So if you submitted it a couple of days ago, your request for information on HempWorks and also joining the networks, askspirituallyraw@gmail.com. Just go ahead and do it again. It may have fell through the cracks because there was a lot that did come in there.
And if you guys are having any issues with your ascension symptoms, ascension blues, or just you're feeling lack of sleep.
Holy crap. The sleep, you guys. You got to check this out.
The melatonin is amazing.
It's like you want to sleep like a 16-year-old again. I'm telling you, this is like the best thing ever. If you are sleep is important, right? I mean, I think everybody can agree that sleep's like
critical.
A big part of your healing, your mind, body, and spirit, and really getting you connected, and also allowing you to go to those special places at night where you can download your information. So if you're not getting that ticket to go to those special places, again, visit our friends over at HempWorks right there, and you will be finding out that they have something called CBD melatonin. It's pretty awesome. We use it. So many people use it, and everybody is just like crazily raving about that. So thank you all for that. Our link's up there, Spiritually Raw. Use the code Spiritually Raw on that. And let's see what we got going on here.
All right, I think we're ready.
And I think we should bring on Victoria. What do you say about getting into prosperity, everybody?
Let's talk to Saint Germain and Victoria. Hi, Victoria.
Hi, April and Jay. Good to see you again.
It's been so long. You don't call. You don't write. Enough about that.
Thank you so much. This was so spur of the moment, and she's like, "I'll just switch my stuff around real quick." And thank you so much.
So everybody, again, we wanted to bring Victoria on for you. We had an interview with her, which you'll be able to check out the full on spirituallyraw.live. But we also wanted to bring her back here, really to help you all out here. Again, remember, this is all about getting tapped in to your source, raising your level of vibration so you can get to prosperity. Victoria taps in at a different level than a lot of us have been hearing about, which is she talks about the 60. And the 60, where we can actually really, this is where we go and grab our, maybe off of our shelves of what we want out of life and what we do. So, I see your questions and all coming in, so we're going to get to that. But, Victoria, I want to just get our audience introduced to you a bit here. So with the, because again, we were talking about on the show we did, the fact of 6D. Can you explain the realm of 6D for us, right, briefly before we start bringing on questions, so let people know exactly what's in that realm and what do we even do when we're there?
Okay, so I consider this 6D, I call it the etheric field. Sometimes I refer to it as the womb of creation, because that's where creation happens. It's the imaginal realm. It's where our imagination goes to pull ideas from, and it's where we create before it physically manifests. So knowing that the sixth dimension is there, we can consciously use it to create our reality.
So you guys, when we're getting there, so if you've ever heard the phrase of law of attraction, and when you go to manifest something, that's where you're going to get it at. Okay, so when you're utilizing, Victoria, jump in if I'm explaining this off. This is your party. So is that if you guys, when you're using the law of attraction, just know that you're going to the 6D. So now the key is what you do when you're there and how to ask for this. And so we drilled this down, and we wanted to kind of bring this here. Let me get a couple of questions for you here. Hold on a second.
Real quick before we get started, because I know this is what everybody's going to be thinking. Someone said, are we even going to need money in 6D, Victoria?
That's what the question was. Yeah.
In 6D, no. And even in 5D, money is a tool that we were given thousands of years ago. And I know there are people who are like, oh, money is this horrible thing. It's a gift that we were given as a means of exchange. And it's really an energetic gift as a means of gratitude for services rendered. It's a way of exchanging it. When we're not using it through the attitude of gratitude, when we're using it through fear, it actually becomes a means of control. We're the ones, our energy and the way we perceive it determines how it's actually used. So it is a gift. It's a tool. It isn't bad. It's not a bad thing. It's simply a tool that human beings have been given access to be able to create a means of exchange.
You know what? I have a question with that then, because I know you're very, very well versed in the Saint Germain Trust and the Nasara and the GCR. With that being said, then, with all of this money that's been stolen that's coming back to the people, if we're going to be in 5D, why do we need it?
Well, it's temporary. It's a temporary solution. Eventually, we won't need it.
Oh.
But right now we do. Right now it's necessary to lift up the vibration of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Right now humanity is in a position of lack rather than abundance. Everything in the universe is coded, genetic codes, if you will, but force codes to prosper.
So in other words, okay, got it. So the universe is releasing all of this money and all of this prosperity. So to help us, in the beginning, what I said, to help us elevate the planet, because if we have all of these people prospering and all of these people that are feeling awesome because the whole entire world is on HempWorks.
Hey,
Number one.
Speaking of that, hold on. Speaking of that, Cheryl wants to know, having a hard time sleeping, go to hempworks.com/spiritually raw. If you are having a hard time sleeping, go to hempworks.com/spiritually raw. Check out the melatonin there. You guys really will. You're going to love it, for real.
Yeah. So we have the entire universe, everybody on the planet on HempWorks. So everybody's feeling great. And when you feel great, you look great. And when you feel great and you look great, you prosper. So this money that's coming to us right now is to help the evolution of our planet.
Correct. So it's to elevate people. It's to elevate people up out of the fear-based reality that we've been living in. Money, like I said, is just a tool. It's the energetic. It's our beliefs about money that have created our fear around it. So if we can learn to actually, I have to go back to the love of money as the root of all evil. That's a misinterpretation. Love is not evil in any way, shape, or form. It's the lust of money. It's the greed of money that's the root of all evil. When we genuinely love money for the incredible tool for transformation that it is, grow it.
You know what?
Hey, I want to.
She just nailed something.
What's that?
And this is like an instant mind switch. If you understand that money is a tool, because most of us, the human mind doesn't think of it as a tool. You think of it as just something that you really need, right? To buy food or whatever. But when you think of it as a tool to help you prosper, it really switches the whole. What do you think about that, Victoria?
Yeah. And it's the person who uses the tool determines how the tool is used. It's not the tool itself.
Right.
Hey, I want to ask you something here, Victoria. I want to ask your opinion on the statement from Mark here, and it says, after Nasara, I want to help rebuild and help. So is there something with the fact of, and again, just from a conditioning standpoint in the mind, is there something along the lines of maybe that you would say to Mark, like, that he could be doing now? Like, why would he be waiting for after Nasara before he wants to help? I mean, is that a mindset that's common for people to think that, okay, well, there's something here I'm waiting for, so I'm not going to do anything in between? Yeah, because we're stuck in the mindset of lack. What we can be doing right now is actually visualizing the world we want to create. Those of us who have the conscious ability to change our vibration are the ones that are actually causing Nasara to happen.
Got it.
Reality.
Okay, that makes
it's up to enough of us to raise our vibration for that breakthrough to actually occur.
How far or close are we as a humanity for this goal? I want to ask this question too, and somebody just said. I don't know. It depends on how successful we are being able to make that transition out of the need for money into being the consciousness of the greatest good for all concerned. Okay, I want to make sure that you understood my question.
From our heart for the greatest good, from our heart in genuine service to the greatest good, then money will eventually not even exist, because we'll have community gardens, and we'll go out and if somebody needs a house, a bunch of us get together and build a house. But because we're doing it from our heart.
It's going to be like commune living kind of thing?
We just need our planet, so it's not commune living.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. No, okay.
So I grew up in a commune. I can tell you the difference. So,
yeah, that's
Definitely
true.
not common. Okay, I got you. All right.
Yeah. It's like really the new.
current communism, it doesn't work. There's always somebody who sets themselves up to be at the top and control of the whole thing. That's going to be disappearing as well. It's different than that. It's more of the collective taking care of the collective.
It's like a circle of everything, right? So it's a circle more versus a pyramid kind of thing.
Like this is that's really what you're referring to as then the new world, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so my question then, let me rephrase that because I'm not sure if it came out right. What you said that we as a collective are pushing the energy for the Nasara prosperity to come forth.
Mm-hmm.
As a collective, how far or close are we to, like, is it years, many years away? Is it, we're not even like only a 10th or a 5th of the planet is even remotely close to that. We still need to, like, you know what I'm saying?
My impression is that we're getting very close. So I was introduced this on 10-10-10 was my financial awakening moment. That's when I got introduced to the concept of GCR. And I've been working with Saint Germain this entire time and asking him, well, what's happening? And the response over the years has been, we need to move people out of position. So the new money that we haven't seen yet, the new money is coded at a 5th dimensional frequency.
Wow.
So that in order for people to access the new money, we have to raise up our vibration to receive it.
The new money is coded at it.
It's already accessible. And what's been really fascinating, what I was shown about a year and a half ago, is that all of those businesses that are based solely in will cease to exist. And the businesses that are based in love will be the ones that prosper. What I found really, really fascinating in 2020 is that the businesses that prosper, not the greed ones. So there's the ones that made trillions off of the suffering of humanity, which I think is inherently, that needs to be dealt with. That anyone could profit that much off the suffering of humanity. Just feel
disgusting.
Yeah, it's disgusting. And on the other side, the individuals that I saw succeed during 2020 and what's happening right now are the people who hold their vibration so high that the money is actually flowing. The people I've seen prospering in the last year have been the healers and the spiritual teachers and the creatives. The ones that in the old worlds were not succeeding.
Like the bankers and that's true.
Those are the ones that are struggling.
Yeah.
The people who are running the stock market, they're having issues.
That's what I was going to say. When I was saying bankers, I meant the whole.
What I was told back in 2012 is that the money tables were going to be flipped. So I was seeing a visual of Jesus going to the temple and knocking over the money tables, and that the money tables would flip from being a pyramid to being a vessel. So the 1% would be at the bottom, and the masses of humanity would be then receiving the money. So the people who lift the vibration up to the top are the ones who are going to be receiving the money. That's why I say the prosperity programs are going to be made available to those of us who lift our vibration up enough to receive it. Because when we're up there where we can receive it, the universe, God, spirit, guides, they know that we know what to do with it, that we're not going to hoard it and control humanity with it.
Right.
We can use this money for the greater good of the whole. The planet herself needs us to have money.
Exactly.
Planet herself needs us to have money.
Hold on, something just happened. Okay, so I have one question before I get to this one because I erased the last one. And I'm going to talk about the last part of that, about when they're talking about this weekend. The question before this one was, so if you're living in the United States, will we need money for the next 10 years?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, less and less and less about it. We will be weaned off of it.
That makes sense.
You can't cold turkey anybody.
No.
Now, will it be money that's in its traditional form, meaning that like cash, or would it be like, so would it convert to like a digital currency, or would it be just no currency? Maybe the question to ask is, would we need currency, in the next 10 years? Will we be weaning off a currency, or will it just turn from cash to something else that we'll need?
I think it'll start out as cash because that's something we're accustomed to. But currency, the core word is current. It's actually an energetic current.
Right.
Like a flow.
Right.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. Victoria, Jake, can you read that? Because I can't see the whole
Oh,
thing.
QFS is already out and the GCR is starting this weekend.
Okay, I want to talk about that. You hear this so many times, Victoria. It's happening this week and this week and this week. And do you think that is causing, is there any backlash to that?
The QFS is already out.
Mm-hmm.
That I do know. And it has been tested. And it has been tested to work effectively on spot testing is the word that I'm hearing right now. So I tuned in with St. Germain this morning, so he's still talking to me.
Did you say stock testing, Victoria? Stock testing?
OT.
Spot.
Oh, stock testing. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay.
So they randomly just picked people across the planet
Mm-hmm.
and tested to see how it works. And I have seen this in the last year where it's, oh my gosh, I woke up this morning and all my student loans are gone. Like, what?
Oh, that's the spot testing.
On it.
Mm-hmm.
So they have tested it just randomly to see if it's working. So the system is set up.
Mm-hmm.
The GCR is a little bit different. The
Okay.
GCR I've been following for about 10 years. And as soon as we get really, really close, it hasn't happened because every time we get really close, it brings more of the I would say the wannabes, the not so nice players out
Mm-hmm.
the wraps so they can get nabbed because they don't want anyone who isn't of the right vibration to have access to the GCR funds.
Do you think that we should be removing the when out of the equation and just know that it will happen? And do you think, when I meant, is there backlash? Is there backlash to when people in their minds, you get so hyped up because you're being fed all this disinformation that it's going to happen today, tomorrow? I swear to God, it's going to be on the 14th of this month. No, and it's going to be the 8th at 6:00 when the moon and that this. Do you think that we need to let go of the when?
Yes. Yeah, because what happens every time we think it's going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
I start following a bunch of those feeds. I'm like, you know what? They always say tomorrow, 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 tomorrow. For the last 10 years, they've been saying this weekend or this week. And what happens is that when we put all of our energy and enthusiasm to thinking it's this weekend, it doesn't happen, we become disheartened.
You get deflated.
Get deflated, become disheartened, and go into a lower vibration.
Mm-hmm.
It's better to just maintain the vibration, and when it does happen, then it will be like fireworks.
Christmas.
Is there a
Yes.
logic behind the fact that, and just to really try to help people get off there, is there a logic behind the fact that this very important information, global currency reset coming out, that there's nobody that's going to be, other than the powers that are actually executing it to happen, the general public will not be aware of that. It'll just happen. Is there logic to that? That's something that does need to be kept under wraps as far as any type of specific date? Yeah,
it will happen. It's already being planned, but it's not going to be announced to the general public. What I was told this morning with St. Germain is that the general public will see something in the form of prosperity programs. We'll recognize it as Nasara, Jasara, GCR, and all of the words we've been floating around for years. The general public will be told about prosperity programs, and they will be told about, what was the word that he used this morning?
Saint Germain?
Yeah, Saint Germain used a term this morning of economic reform.
Oh, let's take that apart.
The public will see it as something along of an economic reform. We will know that it's so much more than that.
It'll be fancier for us, right?
Right.
Got it.
You know, this is what we've been waiting for. The rest of the world will feel a sense of hope that comes from the term reform.
True. Okay, so then, just so I'm clear, the prosperity package is it being retitled economic reform, or they're two separate things?
And it's part of the economic reform.
And what does the prosperity package look like? What does it consist of?
What I was being shown this morning is what St. Germain was calling prosperity programs.
Mm-hmm.
So these are programs that we could apply for and that the funding will first come through humanitarian projects.
Like grants of sorts?
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Because they want to know that the money is being used for the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have an idea for a humanitarian project that you want to see get off the ground, then write a business plan for that.
Okay.
That money's going to come first because that is how we're going to take that money and make it grow for all of humanity, rather than the current government-controlled programs, the government systems. St. Germain was very specific of using the term system differently than program. So these prosperity programs are going to be given to humanitarian projects, and those humanitarian projects actually help to program a new reality.
So you'll have to have the humanitarian place you'll have to have your humanitarian project in place first, right? And then once the purse strings open up, then submit it
It'll be funded. Yeah.
And then it'll be funded from there. And then when it'll be funded from there, it won't be like a loan, it'll be more like a forgivable grant or forgivable something. So they want to pay it back, I guess, in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Okay.
And grants you don't have to give back. They're just grants.
Just use it. Just use it. Okay.
I see angel investors, and what I'm seeing are all these angels up here.
Literally angel investors. That puts a whole new real twist on the term angel investors. Two things.
Thank you, Billy Jack.
Two things. Number one, everybody was banking on Trump pulling the economic reform prosperity package strings.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have this phantom bozo somewhere, who knows where. So how is this going to happen?
Why don't you ever just mention his name? You always refer to him as a bozo or an idiot or something. Just call him what he is.
Okay, the buffoon.
All right.
The president of the corporation.
The buffoon of the corporation. Thank you very much. How is this going to happen when we still have all this control of dark energy around us?
So what I was being shown is he's being allowed to play that role right now because it's providing hope. Hope at the very base of humanity is really, really important to raise the collective vibration. What has happened with him being in place is that the collective hope has started to rise. Even though we know it's a false hope, it's still hope.
I need to make sure I just got what you said.
Hope.
No, I got that part. But are you saying that
humanity for the last year has been in a state of complete hopelessness?
Right.
With him being put into place, it's provided a lot of people with hope. Hope is like the very, very base that's needed to open up the windows of prosperity. Because as long as humanity is stuck in complete hopelessness, that we can't even open the floodgates.
I got it. Okay. Does that make sense to you?
The vibration of hope is being brought up enough that the floodgates can start to open. And if people are already in a vibration of hope, and prosperity is starting to flow, which isn't going to come from him, but at least there's that false sense of security that prosperity is going to come through him. As the prosperity starts to flow and the hope grows.
Right.
Lifting people up. Then when the disclosures start to happen, they won't be as painful because people will already be like, oh, well, I already feel good. This isn't the disclosures won't hurt as much if we're already.
That's a good point.
I was thinking to myself, I was talking to our good friend Pimpy from Pimpy's Investment Chat. I said, you should jump in on the live sometime. I'm like, how do you draw him out here? And you talk about money. And lo and behold, Pimpy shows up on the chat here at 111.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. And you know what's more ironic? Remember I said I had two questions for you? And I didn't see that Pimpy this came on after I said that. This is my next question. What happens if you don't have a humanitarian project?
Does that mean we don't get the money?
No, but that's where the initial money is going to be handed out, is through projects. And here's the thing. Every person who's on this has a vision for what they would do with the money.
Yes, that's true.
So focus on the vision of what you would do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't have a project, there'll still be something else. Will it be categorized as something different then? Like, financial aid or something of that nature? Will it just be categorized something different if they don't come up with a project, or they just won't get it?
Economic reform.
Economic reform.
That's where the economic reform comes in. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is making a lot more sense. The prosperity programs are for those of us that have this vision of the for the humanitarian projects, and I'm going to talk about that in 1 second. The economic reform is for all the others to keep everybody happy and prosper and so forth and so on.
Right.
What are they? Number two-part question. Where are we going to get this money? Where is it coming from? Meaning a bank, or you hear about all these special, what do they call them? Centers or whatever.
Yeah, like call centers.
Call center. Yeah, like you call into an 800 number, which never made sense, but you'll help me maybe get clarity. Number one, and what are they expecting to see? Are they expecting to look at like a 10 or 20 page business plan?
I don't know about the 800 numbers. I know they've been talking about that for years.
Mm-hmm.
We will know. Let's put it that way. When it's time to go,
we will know.
We'll know.
We will know in that moment. Here's a legitimate question, Victoria.
Wait, excuse me.
After April says
about
her
that, and
question.
then what are they expecting? And are they bankers that we would be talking to? And if so, are they expecting like this full blown business plan of this humanitarian project?
I don't think they need a full-blown business plan, but certainly a concept. You have to have a concept in place that shows how much money you need, where the money will be spent. You have to have that in place. They're not just going to throw money at anybody that just shows up and says, "Hey, I got a good idea."
What about Louise?
What I'm seeing is it's like in the sixth dimension, right? You actually have to have a viable concept, even in the sixth dimension, for that concept to begin to grow.
You know what? Ask your question,
Yeah.
whatever, and then I think it'd be good that we talk about the last show about how to get into the sixth dimension.
Let's do that. Let me get this question in for Louisa real quick. So this is a legitimate question, I think. So what about to invest in owning a home? Would that be considered a project?
So my understanding is that the way that the big money will work is that we're going to be using the old system that was put into place with foundations and trusts. So you would set up a foundation. The money would then be given to a foundation. The foundation would buy the house as part of the foundation's assets.
Oh.
So it's more of a titling issue more than anything, right? So,
right.
Okay.
So in which case, then it could be a project, specifically if that house is going to be used to run the foundation business out of, or that home is going to be used for business purposes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might have somebody that you're interviewing for your show, renting a guest room, or you do a show out of your house, or whatever it is, that those can very well be a project.
Okay.
Victoria, I've heard.
Hope you got that, Louisa.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've heard forever in a lifetime that these prosperity packages are tied only to the Zimbabwe dollar currency. Is this an absolute false statement? Or is there?
I don't have any Zim. It better not be.
What?
I'm going to go and bite it really quick.
Right, exactly. Okay, so can you help me? Because I still don't even understand about the Zim. Is there something with the Zim that's tied to something relevant to these prosperity packages?
For those of you just tuning in and listening to the word Zim, you're referring to Zimbabwe, right?
I think it's
Is that what that means?
Zimbabwe currency, yeah.
So the actual country Zimbabwe, we're talking about their currency. Is that what when people are saying Zim, that's what they're referred to?
So GCR, the term GCR stands for Global Currency Reset. And that involves currencies that will be brought up to par. So, for example, the Iraqi dinar is one of them. And that is that when we invaded Iraq, America devalued their currency. Mm-hmm. So the global currency reset is the word I'm hearing is reconstituting their currency to its full value. So the global currency reset is that it's restoring currencies to their full value.
Makes sense.
Okay. So basically, and that's going to be that's going to be so the way I just understood, I want to make sure I understood what you just said here. So all these currencies right now that are currently undervalued, once the global currency reset takes place, is it going to be all of them together simultaneously at once?
Yeah, I think so. What Saint Germain is telling me right now is it's a rebalancing of the books.
Rebalancing of the books. That's fascinating.
Yeah. And this new money that you were talking about in the beginning that is coded, is that the quantum financial system? And is the quantum financial system a real thing?
Yes, and yes. So the new money is actually money. We've been calling it rainbow currency because it's pretty. I've actually seen pictures of it. And the rainbow, but what's really interesting is that the energy I've been working with beginning this year is actually a rainbow frequency. It's all of the frequency of light, right? So it's coded with a higher frequency of light. And the quantum field is it's a type of not digital currency, it's quantum currency. It's more recurrent than, so it's like Bitcoin, for example, was kind of a test market for that. So when Bitcoin first came out, I didn't invest in it. Although it might not have been a bad idea, but I was told that it was an interim concept. So, yeah, it's digital, but it's not like that. Yeah.
Neat.
Right.
So getting back to the Zim. Okay, so then there's this other so you have the prosperity programs, the economic reform, and the other thing I keep hearing is the humanitarian projects.
Right.
So is that something separate from the prosperity and the economic reform?
The humanitarian projects are tied in with the prosperity programs.
So no Zim is needed for either one of those?
No, the Zim is one of the
currencies that's going to revalue. That's part of the global currency reset, right? That's part of the
global
currency reset. Blah, 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 blah. Gotcha. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Not to be confused with the financial reset. Two very different things.
Right.
So, Victoria, I want to just pivot. Thank you for this. I want to pivot just a bit for everybody in chat to really now talk about. So we got money in the 5D waiting for us right now. That's already coded in the 5D that's waiting for us right now. So do we need to get to the 6D to just say, okay, let's get this. Let's really manifest this money here. So and then come down to the 5D to get it. I mean, what's that flow look like there?
Well, it's about raising our consciousness to 5D. And the consciousness of 5D is love. So we needed to cross that bridge out of 3D, which is primarily fear, 4D, which is a balance of both, and get into 5D. If we hold our consciousness in the fifth dimension, which is love for all life on earth, and love for it is the consciousness of the heart. That's where really humanity needs to get at, the consciousness of the heart. When we're in the consciousness of the heart, we're in the fifth dimension. And that's where the money will begin to flow freely. So it isn't 6D or 5D. They work in tandem. The 6D is where we go to play in the imaginal realm, to imagine it. The 5D is an actual state of consciousness.
And again, let me just go back real quick. Victoria Reynolds is the developer, the creator of the 6D money tree, which was the last show that we were just doing, which will be out in a couple days. But I want to talk a little bit about what you're talking about, because you shifted the whole mindset of actually how to go about growing this
money tree?
Etheric money tree. Yeah. So can we kind of talk about that? Because again, this goes back to prosperity is such a huge, just like the hemp works, is such a huge element in the evolution of the planet.
Mind, body, spirit, prosperity.
Exactly. Because the hemp works makes you feel great. It helps you connect at a higher level. clears out, gives you clarity. The prosperity, it's such an integral part too, to bring forth this new world. So help us to prosper and help us to set our mind in the way that it should be, and help us to deprogram our mind from this BS that we've been under, the spell that we've been under for millennia.
No pressure.
So I want to add one thing really quick, Jay, to your little mantra that you did. It's mind, body, heart, spirit, and prosperity.
Mind, body, heart, spirit, and prosperity.
Much better.
Because every human being is all four aspects, and we can't leave any of those four aspects out. Heart has been left out of the mind-body connection. So first there was body. For how long did we just think body? And then some people believed in spirit, body and spirit. With psychology, we started to bring in the concept of the mind and how that works. This fifth dimension is all about the heart. It's reopening the heart to its fullest potential. That's where the light of God exists, is inside our hearts.
Which no wonder they've suppressed us to take that out of the mind, body, spirit, because it's probably the most important element of all of them.
Right? That's the world we're creating, needs to come from this heart energy. And so so that's a place where we all need to really concentrate. When I'm in my heart, what will I do with the money? Because the mind wants to go off and do its thing about it. But when we remember to always be in our heart space, what will I do with it from my heart space, and go into the sixth dimension from a space of heart? It's much more effective and actually works on behalf of all life on earth, not just for ourselves.
Okay, so now can you take us into the sixth dimension and the etheric money tree, and how to teach people to envision this to help grow this money and prosperity and love?
Sure.
Thank you.
The sixth dimension, I use a visual of a field. You can use the visual of a garden or a field. For me, the quantum field looks like a grid.
Okay, I'm doing this now.
That's anything in. So just our ability to envision creates our reality. So it's whatever you choose to envision it to be. This is the reason that vision boards work so well, because we're envisioning what we want to create. So growing this tree in the etheric field is first about visualizing the fields. And then you can plant it as a seed of thought and idea. It could be a business idea. It could be a humanitarian project idea. It could be whatever you're going to use that money for. You can grow any of that in the etheric fields. And that this is, again, for people who are more on the religious end, this isn't about cutting God out of it at all, because God is the creator of all things. That is how we intercreate with God. Because that's why sometimes I call it the womb of creation. That is where creation is created, is in the etheric field before it physically manifests. So even if we were to go back to the Bible, it says, first there was the Word. Right? So first, everything that exists is first created by our words and by our thoughts, and then it physically manifests. That's how God creates. We are creating in cooperation with God. So we're not separating that out of the equation for people that are afraid of that. So the etheric field is where the imagination gets to play. In the sixth dimension, time and money are inconsequential. That's where instant manifestation occurs, which is why you can have an idea and 5 seconds later, I was just thinking that. That's actually where it's going to work. If there isn't any inhibition at play, it can instantly manifest. The higher we raise our vibration, the more we're out of this really dense 3D that we've presently been in, the easier manifestation works on our behalf. So when our minds are in the clouds, in a sense, as you were saying in the other show, that creation has a much easier way of working on our behalf.
So at the end of the day, nobody's going to be excluded throughout this process as long as you know where to tap in, right? So as far as any of these projects coming out, nobody will be excluded. They might be fall under different technical titles or categories, but everybody will something will happen out of these packages, right?
Correct. For
everybody.
For the most part. I mean, there are some people who will be excluded. Those will be the people that the money were actually being taken from and redistributed.
Got it. Okay. Got it.
Right? So those people who have made their money purely on greed and corruption, they will be stripped of their assets. They're not going to benefit from it, but they want to stay in the old world. Greed is their way of life.
Yeah.
They can't even imagine anything except that. So no, they won't benefit from it because they're going to be at such a low vibration. They're going to be the ones that get the leftovers. Not everybody.
Oh, like the tables are going to literally turn.
Right. So they're going to be the few at the bottom that gets what's left over.
So I'm just using an example because there are a lot of people in the stock market, bankers. I'm not going to use bankers. I'm just going to say like stockbrokers on Wall Street and New York and wherever. But they're good people, but they live in a world that is full of filth. You know, there's a lot of greed and nastiness and so forth and so on. Are they going to get caught in that trap?
Like innocent bystanders?
An innocent bystander trap?
My understanding is that everybody will be given a conscious choice of what they will do with what's happening over the next couple of years. So it's not instantly going to happen. It's going to be a transition. Because like I said earlier, you can't cold turkey people off of their fear-based systems.
Right.
Have to be weaned off them. And everybody will be given an opportunity of where they want to, which side of the game they want to play on. And so, yeah, there are some perfectly wonderful people who work in the stock industry. They just got sucked into the world of greed. And I think eventually that will change because the stock market was created entirely on greed.
Yes, that's true.
This is a good question here from Becky. How can I find out where to sign up for humanitarian projects?
I don't have that information yet. What I've been told is to start cultivating them. That means writing them down, speaking them into existence. Right now, we are being asked to visualize and to create the new reality. We create the new earth reality, and we do that with our own vibrations and with our own visioning. So as long as it's just an idea that's floating around in your head, it's still just an idea. It needs to be written out and put on paper. And that tells the universe, hey, I'm serious about this project. I'm calling in the funding to make this project possible. And we'll know when it's time to know where to submit these projects for funding. We'll know.
Well, no.
Yeah, that
and
makes
you guys,
sense.
and I think VictoriaReynolds.com, so you can check out and get on Victoria's email list because I imagine you'll be updating people as stuff happens. Yeah. So,
and that you could also find her 6D money tree there.
Yeah.
Her course. Victoria.
Some good questions here.
They're great.
Can I get one in while you're thinking?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so speaking of the Humanity Project here from Denise, if we don't have a Humanity Project, will they be able to merge or join in with anybody else's project going on?
That's a good question.
And
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. These projects are all based on cooperation. So it's a matter of deciding if there's something that is speaking to your heart that you want to be a part of. Yeah, there will be opportunity. Not just opportunity, but these projects are going to be looking people who want to be an active part of them. You want to come up with a concept, but as you know, a concept is only as good as the team of people who are part of it. So they're all going to be looking for people who want to play on the team.
Got it. So then each person or each group would get their own grant, in essence, to be able to use for this cooperative project, right?
Yeah. You know what, Victoria? There's a lot of this going around as well. The vehicles, credit cards will be paid off school loans. How much truth is there to that?
I think so. Yeah.
You think then that somebody has $1,000 worth of credit debt or $100,000 worth of credit debt there's going to be a point in time in our future that it's going to magically vanish, like the student loans are magically vanishing.
Yeah, because that's not even real money. The credit cards are it's just fake money. The school loan.
Yeah, it is. It is,
what happens
definitely.
then? There's absolutely nothing attached to it.
Does everybody get a new credit score and start from a beginning again? Or what is it? Or what is the parameter that's even based on?
If credit's even needed, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we might not even need credit.
Then how would you buy something?
Cash.
You just have
silver.
Yeah.
Gold.
Huh.
Bitcoin. Cryptocurrency.
Yeah. Hey, Blake, there is a lot of people that store's paid off. Hey, Pimpy had a bunch of stuff paid off. Pimpy had like
he did.
Pimpy had like 150,000
and his wife
in school debt paid off.
He had 5 student loans that were over $150,000 vanished, and his wife had over $10,000 of student loans that vanished into the ether. So, from the student loan perspective, I can honestly say that we know somebody that it's happened to. So there's definitely validity to that. I haven't yet met anybody that had their house paid off or any credit card debt vanish into the ether. Have you, Victoria?
I haven't heard anybody about their house. I have heard of credit card debt being wiped out.
You have?
Yeah, and the student loans.
Wow.
But it's kind of like leveling the playing field.
I gotcha. I see what you're saying there.
And what about the real estate housing though? Because some people live in $100,000 house and some people live in a $10 million house. So
I'll have to tune in and ask about that. That I'm not sure about if it's based on the amount of loan, how much has been paid off, all of that. I don't know. That I'd have to check into.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear it.
No, because my house is a hefty big on it, but
here you go.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Hold on, we're getting you Victoria's
Hold
banner.
on.
Hang on.
People were asking about Victoria's
website.
contact information. There you go, everybody. For those of you looking for Victoria's contact information, which you are, this is why I put it up, victoriarentals.com. Okay, so check out there.
And make sure her show, I'm going to title the show, the last interview that we just did right before we had this impromptu live. It's going to be titled The 6D Money Tree. So make sure to look for that. It'll be out, what is today, Friday? What is today?
Today's Thursday.
Thursday. It'll be out over the weekend. So make sure to look for that as well. And Victoria goes into step-by-step instructions how to visualize, how to get to the 6D and grow the money tree. It's the best interpretation of how to do it that I've heard so far. I mean, it's exact. Let's put it this way. I'm taking Victoria's advice and I'm doing it the exact same way that she's doing it.
Yeah, you'll really enjoy that one, everybody. Hey, everybody, I want to, Victoria, thank you for coming on here impromptu with us. I appreciate you. You know, again, we're really just working diligently together to really get the energy out and help people raise their vibration. So thanks for being a big part of that today. Much love to you, my dear. And, again, everybody, victoriarentals.com. Don't forget to check her out. And again, remember, just keep these things in mind, everybody. Raise your vibration. I mean, again, check out their hemp works. We're going to keep saying this to you because it does work.
It's all part of the evolution of our consciousness. It's all part of raising the vibration. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
They all go hand in hand.
What do they say? If you all the money in the world, if you don't have your health, what good is it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would kind of suck. So anyway, but check it out, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming in on and spending time with us on such short notice. But we wanted to share this with you. We wanted to share with Victoria with you. And hope you're having a blessed day. Hope you're prosperous. We got some more cool stuff coming your way. So as we wrap it up in our heads and get a title, we'll bring it out to you for you. Okay. So thank you very much. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. And please do share this video and the next one that's coming out, the 6D Money Tree, because we want everybody, we want all of our loved ones, all of our family members, even the ones that we are not happy with right now, and all of our friends. We want everyone to grow and come on this train, on this 5D, 6D train with us. And now we are giving all of you, everyone, the tools to be able to do that. So please do share the information. And together we will turn the universal key to global harmony and create a unified world. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, tune in often. Tell all your friends. Smash the like button. Thank you, Pimpy. And may all your dreams come true. Many blessings.
We'll see you next time.
Amen.
Thank you, Victoria.
Peace.
Thank you.